This is his way of hurting you back. An eye for an eye. Men are such children. He's trying to get you to force things. He won't give up his 23-year marriage and half his belongings. Give him a week to be alone, and he'll come crawling back. Straightening up, Lauren returned to her desk, picked up her phone, and immediately dialed her husband's number. How could you do this to me? In the office, in front of everyone. I know you're hurting, but I deserve better, Trav, she practically screamed into the phone. After 23 years, don't I deserve something better than you unilaterally deciding to open our marriage? If I'm not right for you, couldn't you have just warned me in advance, and we could have parted ways like civilized people? Travis said. I don't want civility. I don't want to get a divorce. I still love you. You still love me, she wailed. I still love you, but every time you have sex with someone else, that love diminishes, he growled. My love is not a bottomless well. Like you, I always thought this was true. Who knows? Maybe we were both wrong. Lauren fought for a divorce. Her lawyer requested and received marriage counseling, although Travis was adamantly opposed. Lauren smiled and Travis frowned as they were ushered into the consultant's inner sanctum and found Lillian Camacho sitting in one of the chairs at the consultant's desk. Data on marriage counselors shows that most believe their job is to reconcile divorcing couples, and female counselors seem to be biased in favor of women. The couple took 2 of the 3 empty seats at the table. The consultant cleared her throat to indicate that she was starting. I read both of your cases and saw both of your statements, Ms. Camacho began. Let's start with the simplest thing. Mrs. Wesley, did you really tell your husband that you were going to date other men for a few years? Travis tried his best to prevent the consultant from seeing his smirk. Lauren tried her best not to let the consultant see how shocked she was. She thought about lying, but then realized that she did not have a ready-made legend for this lie. Yes, I told him about it, she answered quietly. That's what I want. Don't need him to do for me. This won't affect our marriage. Well, I think we'll end here, said the consultant. Sorry to waste your time, Mrs. Weasley. I'll talk to the judge and end this farce. But, Lauren began to stutter. Honey, if you thought for even a minute that what you did to your husband would work with me, then you are crazy. You should be ashamed of yourself. But obviously you don't have an ounce of shame. Frankly, you disgust me, Ms. Camacho said. Over the next month, Lauren called and texted Travis several times a day as he rented a small apartment near his home. He did not answer calls or text messages. Then she turned to their daughters for help, who called several times. Dad, you know you still love her? If she stopped dating other men, would you give her another chance? Michelle asked during one of these calls. So she still continues to do this, even after I served her? Travis asked in a trembling voice. He received only silence in response. That was all the answer he needed. Michelle didn't call again and didn't ask him to try again. Travis was surprised by how quickly word of his impending divorce spread, especially among single women. Several women at his work expressed their condolences over his marital problems, as did several women who were friends of both him and his wife. He was smart enough to realize that not all of their condolences were altruistic. Connie Myong, his wife's longtime friend, called to express her regret about what was going on in Travis's life. She almost directly offered him a shoulder to cry on, and not just a shoulder. Travis was shocked that his wife's close friend was hitting on him so openly. In all the years of acquaintance, the divorced woman never even cast a sidelong glance at him. I would never pursue a friend's husband. It's just wrong, she told him. But now that you are a free man, the rules are different. I'm letting you know that I'm interested in you. Shocked, I'm flattered. But I'm not a free man yet, Connie, and I won't date until the divorce is final. I know I'm being stupid, but I won't cheat, Travis said. You're such a Boy Scout, Trav. This is one of the things I like about you. I always liked it. Can you at least set me up on a date when you're free? Connie asked. Of course, Travis said, but I don't want to come between you and Lauren. You've been friends for many years. I appreciate your sensitivity, but just because it's stupid doesn't mean I should miss out on a good person. I wouldn't even think twice if you were just some guy I didn't know and we just met, Connie said. Maybe I'll call you when I take off the leash? Travis joked. Connie was an Asian beauty, 5 feet tall, with a toned body and waist-length black hair, which was one of the main assets in Travis's eyes. He admitted to himself that he was more than surprised that the woman showed interest in him. Travis was true to his word and called Connie the day his divorce became official. On Saturday evening, they went to a restaurant and then to a local jazz club. Connie noticed that Travis was feeling awkward and commented on it. I feel like an inexperienced 15-year-old, he replied. I haven't been on a date with another woman in over 26 years. Don't tell me the condom in your wallet is the same one you had on your last date before Lauren, she joked. Should I have had a condom? Crap, I didn't even think about it. Well, I'm a noob, Travis replied. At the end of the evening, Connie kissed Travis tenderly on the lips. They both felt good after the date, and he promised to call again. Travis didn't think much about taking off his wedding ring on the day the divorce was final, but apparently it was a big deal for unmarried women. Noticing the emptiness on his ring finger, several female employees took notice and commented on it. And suddenly the level of flirting in his office increased noticeably. This was new to him, and one day over lunch he told his best friend at the office about it. There are a lot of beautiful women in this office. How did I not notice this before? Travis asked. You, my friend, were just a terrible henpecked man, said Robert Ardito. You were so deeply in love with this woman that you didn't even look at other women as sexual beings. I mean, she is a beautiful woman, no doubt, but you let her put your courage in her purse. And maybe that was part of the problem. She is constantly being tested. It has value. And you were so trained, such a vibration emanated from you, that not a single woman even looked at you. In the first month after the divorce, Travis went on 4 dates, 2 of them with Connie. He hadn't yet managed to sleep with any of the 3 women he dated, but that wasn't his goal. In the second month, he was just as in demand and slept with 2 women. Travis's daughters, who have been in contact with their mother more than their father in recent months, have heard her constantly assert that while she can have virtually any man with just a snap of her fingers, their father is an ordinary man in his 40s who finds it difficult to even find a mate, not to mention a permanent girlfriend. They began to feel sorry for their father, and one Saturday morning, about 2 months after the divorce, they went to his apartment together unannounced. Travis was unhappy that he was woken up at 8:36, especially since he had entertained his companion until late the night before. Sonia, a busty 25-year-old girl, was the daughter of a friend who needed a reliable gentleman for her wedding celebration. The evening went so well that the couple decided to end it at Travis's apartment. At that moment, she was sleeping in his bed when he opened the door in a robe. "What?" he asked, throwing open the door, and saw the smiling faces of his daughters, who were holding bags of bagels, smoked salmon, and cream cheese. "Hello, Father. Could your 2 beloved daughters come over for breakfast?" Jackie said as the couple entered the house. Travis kissed them both on the cheek and led them to the kitchen table where they emptied the bags they had brought with them. They were just putting away the bagels when Sonia came out of the bedroom wearing one of Travis's white shirts, half-buttoned, and probably not wearing anything else. "Sorry. I didn't know you were expecting guests, baby," Sonia said. "Mom said that you are your own boss." Both girls blushed as Sonia poured herself some coffee. No, Sonia. These are my daughters, Jackie and Michelle," he said, pointing to his daughter with the appropriate name. "We went to have breakfast. Bagel with salmon?" Sonia giggled, causing her large, braless breasts to jiggle under her shirt. She brushed her thigh against Travis's arm and sank into the chair next to him. The 4 of them engaged in normal small talk for a while until Jackie asked if Travis had spoken to Lauren lately. He frowned for the first time in days. Until this moment, he had believed that it was almost impossible to get upset when being around Sonia, although she was a little hard for his 48-year-old body. "I have to tell you, Dad, we thought you were already missing Mom," Michelle said. "We know that she misses you, but I thought that when I was gone, she would live her life to the fullest. I know that I was an anchor for her, though she was hanging out with them two at a time in our old bed. "Dad!" Jackie exclaimed while Sonia giggled and Michelle frowned. "She's not a lecher, you know." "Really? Think about this for a second. How many different guys has she had sex with since we broke up? And those two that I knew about before I left?" Both girls blushed and lowered their heads. "Wow. If it's 2 guys a month for, what? 10 months. That's 20 different guys. With 3 guys a month, 30. For me, there are a lot of guys," said Sonia. If looks could kill, Travis' daughters would have Sonia in her grave in a matter of seconds. She was well aware of this fact. "Hey, don't blame me if a woman can't keep her legs closed," Sonia said. Children, let's not ruin my good weekend," Travis said. "Sorry," all 3 young women muttered at the same time. "So, you are a couple?" Jackie asked Sonia quietly. "You don't look older than me." "Your dad said that we are the same age, but don't worry, I'm not going to ever become your stepmother. We're just friends. He's a great guy. He was my date at the wedding reception last night, and he's kind of a hottie. Did I mention that he's also a great guy? Well, we have to agree that he's a great guy, although we know he can be a bit of an asshole from time to time," Jackie said. "And yeah, he's kind of hot, for a guy who's old enough to be your dad." It was Sonia's turn to blush. Travis blushed too. "Hey baby, remember that we have lunch with the newlyweds' families at the hotel at noon? I need to take a shower and grab some clothes from my apartment before we go," Sonia said. Both daughters rolled their eyes at their father. "Mom, she's my age," Jackie told her mother over lunch a few weeks later. And it didn't look like a one-off. They spent quite a long time together. They enjoyed each other's company. "I don't think he'll crawl to you soon, Mom." "No, you just caught him on a lucky day. He was probably helping a friend's child and got lucky. She is probably a girl of easy virtue who will have sex with anyone. Your dad is a great guy, but he's not a stud, Jackie." Jackie raised her eyebrows at her mother. "You always seemed pleased with him, until you told him you were going to leave him. Why didn't you just cheat on him without telling him? Wouldn't that be a lot easier? You might as well have the cake and eat it too." "That would be cheating, Jackie, and if he caught me, well, then we would break up." Having told him about this, I didn't cheat, and was sure that he would give me what I wanted when he realized what exactly he would lose. I must admit I did not expect a divorce. I never thought he would have the guts to do it. Mom, I think you mistook love for weakness. And somewhere along the way, you decided that everything depended solely on you. Was it all worth it? For the first time, Lauren's face showed the stress of what she had to endure. From Rose's lips, everything sounded much better than it actually turned out to be. She couldn't tell her daughter that the sex was normal, but no, it wasn't worth it. She also couldn't tell her daughter that she never thought that Travis would do anything other than sit around and pine for his beautiful ex-wife. She was so self-absorbed that she had no idea that a handsome, if not gorgeous man, with great character, intelligence, and a solid job could be very attractive in the singles market. And not just for middle-aged women. She knew that after the divorce, her ex-husband dated several women, including her old friend Connie, and now with some young woman of easy virtue, the same age as their eldest daughter. Instead of sitting at home and mourning his past life, he goes on dates like a single 20-year-old and gets more attention than he deserves. She didn't tell Connie when she found out her friend was dating her ex for the first time, figuring it was some kind of pity date, but the second date was completely unnecessary, and she told Connie privately, in a rather loud tone. "I thought we were friends, Con," Lauren said. "You should be on my side. We girls have to have each other's backs. But he didn't do anything wrong to you, Lauren. And he is a good guy. Great. He is everything I want in a man. Why don't I date Trev? Hell, women are lining up to go on dates with him. He's prime-age beef on the hook, girl. And he is a great gentleman. And great in bed, too. I will go on a date with him anytime he invites me. How could you drive such a man away?" Lauren silently stared at her friend with her mouth open. She was just beginning to realize that her mistake was growing by leaps and bounds. She loves Travis and hates coming back to an empty house at the end of the day. She hates sleeping alone at night. Travis, of course, could not have imagined that his life would become so exciting. He would be quite happy if his old, boring life remained as it was. But other than that, life suited him quite well. Work is good, social life is great. He enjoys being with several women of different ages, and most of his dates end in bed. He's certainly not looking for a long-term partner at the moment, but he sure enjoyed the smorgasbord. There is more to life than just being married to a beautiful woman. Marla Goodling's shoulder-length silver hair had several streaks of purple in a ponytail that came out of a hole in the back of her Chicago Cubs baseball cap. Her blue Cubs t-shirt was perhaps a size too tight on her ample chest, and her light blue Levi's were as tight as most of the 20-year-olds in the stands, despite the fact that she was 60 years old. In the left field bleachers at Wrigley Field, she drew more than her fair share of starers. One of the people looking at her appraisingly was the man she was with, Travis Wesley, the ex-husband of one of her long-team employees, Lauren Wesley. He and Travis attended a Cubs game as part of a weekend trip to Chicago. Marla worked with Lauren Wesley for over 15 years. I met Travis at several corporate events where he accompanied his then-wife and always thought he was a handsome and pleasant guy. She knew that she and Lauren had divorced about 2 years ago. Marla had been a widow for about 5 years. Her longtime husband had died in a car accident. During this time, she went on only one date, after which she decided to find out Travis's phone number. Yes, Travis remembered her. He thought it was hard to forget a woman who seemed to exude both style and beauty. He would like to go to dinner with her. Absolutely, he replied. This was several months before this moment. The first date took place in an expensive restaurant, after which there was a concert at the Philharmonic, and tickets for the concert were provided by Marla. The evening ended with them kissing at the front door of her house. The second date was a Saturday hike on the trail, and the woman giggled several times when a clearly tired Travis had to take short breaks during the day. It appears she and her late husband were avid climbers and hikers, and although Travis thought he was in good shape, it turns out he was wrong. He also learned that Marla had a toned body for an older woman and mesmerizing gray eyes. The date ended with Marla and Travis making tender love on the rug in the living room of her home, after they had a steamy makeout session on the sofa. She intrigued him with her combination of wealthy class and girl-next-door freshness. Marla happily agreed when Travis suggested she spend the weekend sightseeing in Chicago as part of their third date. On their first date, Marla told Travis that she had no intention of telling Lauren that they were dating. If asked, she would not have denied it, but she was not going to advertise this fact. Marla also told Travis that Lauren told her co-workers that she and Travis were getting a divorce due to irreconcilable differences. Travis told Marla the same story he told everyone else. Lauren had cheated on him with at least 2 different men. He didn't elaborate further. In the 2 years since his divorce, Travis has developed several strong relationships and enjoyed what he considers an amazing sex life. All of his partners had a good opinion of him, and some of them hoped that they would be considered when Travis decided to trust women again and get married. Lauren worked in a different direction. As she told her then-husband before their first date, she was simply looking for sexual satisfaction, while she still had the looks to attract almost any man. She was not looking for an emotional relationship, like most of her partners. This major difference between the 2 ex-partners will be a problem for Jackie. She and her mother were deep in preparations for the upcoming wedding, which her father was happily paying for, when Lauren told her daughter that she thought both parents should attend the wedding unaccompanied, so there would be less tension. Jackie quickly agreed with this idea and conveyed it to her father that same week when they chatted over lunch. "Does this brilliant idea come from you or from your mother?" Travis asked sternly. "I plan to bring a lady with me. I'm paying for this holiday, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with the one I bring. Hell, I've been taking dance lessons for about a year now, ever since you announced your engagement. Have you taken dance lessons? Seriously? Just for my wedding? This is so cute. But." "No buts, Jackie. She apparently doesn't have anyone she considers close enough to invite, so she's trying to put pressure on me. And again, she acts like a selfish bitch and tries to manipulate the situation in her favor. Sorry, baby, but I won't be showing up to my daughter's wedding without a date. If you don't have the courage to tell her about it, then I certainly will. She can go alone or take a gentleman with her. That's her business. I'll bring the lady with me, Travis said. Got it, Dad? I will tell her. Your point is correct, and I really want to see you dance. But could you still bring someone older than me? I can do this, baby, but you really should watch how Sonia and I dance. Travis smiled widely and received a wide smile in response. Travis took Connie Myong with him to the wedding. Travis thinks she looks great in the sea green dress she bought and he paid for. They quarreled because he bought this dress. Travis explained to the woman that since he was the father of the bride and would be wearing a tuxedo, she needed a new dress, which he would be happy to buy. And yes, I understand that it also requires shoes, he told her with a wide smile on his face. Walking his eldest daughter down the aisle was one of the greatest and worst experiences of Travis's life. All the other fathers who had told Travis it would happen had hit the mark, he noted to himself. Still, it was a wonderful day, he had to admit. He, Connie, and his children had fun and danced until late at night. The only moment that caused discord on this day was the appearance of his ex-wife with her own gentleman. Not that Travis cared, but the guy spent most of the first part of the wedding smirking at Travis, and then most of the second part staring and groping several women like an obnoxious drunk, at least until Jackie asked for her mother to remove the guest. Lauren, clearly embarrassed, apologized profusely and quickly ushered the man out the door. Before leaving with her date, Lauren still took the time to follow Connie into the women's restroom. "You're the bitch who stole my man," she said to Connie when they were in the toilet. "I'm sorry, but I've never stolen a man from anyone," Connie answered. "He divorced you before we even started dating. You have no one to blame for this divorce but yourself. You threw away a great man for cheap sex." Lauren's face turned purple. Her eyes, which had initially been staring intently at the other woman, suddenly dimmed. She lowered her head and stood motionless as Connie walked out the door. Connie never said a word to Travis or the family because she didn't want to ruin their special day. A few months after the wedding, Michelle visited her father and seemed restless. Travis watched her for a moment before asking the question. "Okay, Mitch, what's going on? You've been kind of nervous all evening." Michelle blushed deeply and began to stutter. Travis knew something was very wrong. Dad, you know, Mom talks about getting back together with you from time to time. About how she will win you over when she stops having sex with other guys. You two didn't have sex or anything, did you?" she asked. "My sex life is none of your business, young lady," Travis snapped. "But no, I didn't sleep with your mother." "And what?" "Yes, the fact is that she has a venereal disease, Dad. I heard the end of her conversation with her friend Rosa, and she said that she had syphilis," Michelle said quietly without looking her father in the eyes. Travis looked surprised and then sad as Michelle watched him out of the corner of her eye. "I guess you're telling me this because you're worried about me," Travis said. "But it is standard state policy to tell all possible recipients of the disease that they need to be tested." "I did not know that. I was just worried about you, Dad," she said. "I know Mom is still sleeping around. Several of my friends warned me that she was quite slutty. It's always awkward when a friend tells you that your mom isn't perfect." A few days later, Travis received an unpleasant call from Marla. He immediately realized that she was worried about the same things as Michelle, although she obviously also had concerns about her own health. "If you're wondering if I slept with my ex, the answer is not just no, but hell no," Travis said. "Believe me, Marla, I understand your concern. But I can't help the fact that my ex is a scandal." "The scandal is the nicest thing I've heard about her in a long time," Marla said. "In recent months, her active activities outside the home have become the subject of gossip on the sidelines. It seems like the longer she's single, the more she loses her guard. Lauren used her STD as a starting point in her plan to get Travis back. She was satisfied that she had had enough men to last her for the rest of her life, and 6 months after the doctor said she was cured, she began a plan to get Travis back. She was still slightly resentful of Travis for divorcing her the first time, which was not her original plan. She believed that her then-husband would never dare to divorce a woman like her, knowing that the likelihood that he could find another in her class was small. This plan might have worked if other women had not started hunting Travis. Lauren had no doubt that she was a treasure. She didn't expect Travis to be as attracted to other women. "I know he's a great guy, but can't these women see that he's nowhere near my level of sexuality?" she said to Rose one day, as both women sipped margaritas at the bar, awaiting their dates for the evening. Rose pushed her friend to her current lifestyle. She knew that Travis was quite handsome, but she greatly underestimated the depth of his personality, also because he always obeyed his wife. She expected Travis to just sit around and mope while his wife had fun with other men. Who knew that Travis had such an inner core? Lauren and Rose had been keeping an eye on Travis since Lauren gave him the ultimatum. And in truth, it turned out that his post-divorce sex life was almost as intense as Lauren's. If Lauren had been more honest with herself, she might have admitted that her ex-husband's sex life seemed to be much better from an emotional standpoint. Travis went on dates and seemed to genuinely have fun with his partners. Lauren only had sex with her own people, although not with any of them after contracting an STD. She noted that it was a long lull. "Maybe it's time for him and Travis to get back together," Lauren concluded. Travis was more than surprised by the voice on the other end of the line. He hasn't spoken to his ex-wife for almost 2 years. One of his daughters must have given her his new cell phone number. He did not forbid them to do this, but said that he did not consider it necessary to ever speak to her directly again. "Hi, Trev," she purred in her sweetest tone. "I think it's time for us to talk. And I thought we shouldn't talk until Michelle got married. But since this is not yet the case, maybe we will return to silence again," Travis said. "Still the same Travis, still trying to deny that you love me, but you know what you love. You know you want me back." "Still the same Lauren," he replied. "You still think that everything revolves around you. Look, Trav, I know you're still mad at me, but I really love you. I probably should have just cheated on you and kept you in the dark, but that would have been cheating." "It was still cheating, Lauren. Just because you told me you were going to do it doesn't make it any less real. You did it because you thought I would never give up on you. Do you think I'm that pathetic?" Travis said. "I know you think you're a 10, hell, a 12, but more than that, you're gorgeous. I don't have to live in your shadow. As the last few years have shown me, I am not just the husband of a beautiful woman. Other women want what I have to offer and are willing to repay me emotionally. My last few years have been absolutely wonderful. Why would I want to date a selfish woman again who clearly doesn't respect me? And, no matter what she says, doesn't love me the way I loved her." Loved here in the past tense. After disconnecting, Travis put down the phone and turned to the woman next to him. "Are you ready for the second round?" he asked Sonia. Sonia eventually found her soulmate and married him, but Connie and Marla continued their relationship with Travis. He fell in love with both of them in his own way, but never married again. They also loved him in their own way, and both women accepted this relationship together. Moreover, a few years later, both were invited to attend the wedding of his second daughter, Michelle, with Travis. This did not please Lauren, who did not invite her boyfriend to the wedding. She complained to her daughter, but Michelle did not support her. "After me, Jackie and her family, Connie and Marla, are the 2 closest people in the world to Dad," Michelle answered. "They love Dad for who he is and put him above their own selfish interests, which not everyone can say about themselves. He was yours, and you left him for more sex. Why? Simply because she was afraid of getting old and thought that he had no other options, that he will never give up on you, not for anything and not for anyone. Travis was happy with his life, even if it wasn't his first choice. He left a situation that he considered unacceptable. Lauren's life was not one of loneliness and remorse. After all, she was still a beautiful woman, and beautiful women often just need to show up for men to start hitting on them. Lauren was often approached and had quite a few short-term relationships. However, none of them developed into anything long-term. Looking back, Lauren had to admit that she regretted telling her then-husband that she was going to leave him only because she still couldn't come to terms with the fact that Travis had given up on her so easily. How could she have miscalculated so badly, she often wondered to herself. She was a 12 out of 10, but he was only a 6. It shouldn't have ended like this. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.